So, where we're at right now, as far as freestyle is concerned, what is your title?
Well, technically my title's still BMX director and track director. You could say that BMX encompasses freestyle and racing. As I took it upon myself to grab freestyle. I don't think the company's in a position to hire another director specifically for freestyle, but just given my background and knowledge, at least more than anyone else at USA Cycling of freestyle, I just wanted to grab it and get my hands on it. I was part of the British cycling program as an athlete, but I witnessed Sinead Reid, who was a really good racer. I saw basically what GB did to her. They just try to change everything. They try to make it like a track, like get her to do the same things that they were doing in other disciplines. I'm like, with her, all you needed to do was just keep doing what she's doing because she was winning everything at the time, and that really messed her up. So I think the last thing we want to do is come into this sport and drastically change things. Now, I say obviously you can look at what we've been presenting to the athletes today, and absolutely you could say, well, you're changing things already. But it's not. It's there if they want it. By no means am I going to mandate that every rider does tests or whatever it is, goes to see psychologists. Hopefully they've been exposed to that. It's now in their mind, and now it's up to them if they want to utilize that service. So, and then that's my job, is to facilitate that.
Has any ground been covered on how you're going to decide who's qualified for the Olympics, the overall qualifier?
I think we're still waiting for the UCI to officially come out with what that looks like, what events are going to be, for qualification. Once we have that in writing, then USA Cycling will create the criteria, which we'll present to the athletes. Given that it's going to be very limited spots anyway, I think maximum maybe 2. It's not. But again, as I've said to the athletes, is like, how do you guys want to qualify for the Olympics? Is it one event, a trials, or do you want to do the best of 12 months, best event? You kind of, let's sit down and be sensible and sit around a table and figure it out. What do you guys want to do? I've got no problem coming in there and saying, yeah, okay, this is going to be the process, but I would like some feedback and input into that.
When you look at the team as a whole, who are a couple standouts right now that you think have the potential from your knowledge, what you've seen so far?
Just my very limited exposure. I mean, Nick, I think he's a standout, just based on, he had a couple of good results this year. I think at the World Championships he was unfortunate. He seems very attentive to the details, to things like we're doing here, strength and conditioning. So he has that mindset, which is good, something you can easily work with. I can say to Nick right now, hey, well, let's get you on a certain program, let's put some structure in place, and I think he'll absorb that and he'll love it. Again, I don't know. I mean, Pat Pat comes across as very kind of raw and organic, but I think there's something there, and I think he's going to be willing to listen. He seems excited to be part of this. I'm sure it's overwhelming for all of them. But again, I don't know. The girls, Hannah, she's quiet, she's young, so it's hard to get a real feel for it. We were talking earlier, and she admits that she can't sit still. She's got to keep working and improving. And all I need to say to these athletes is like, look, I guarantee every other nation, well, not every other nation, but a handful of other nations are doing this exactly what we're doing. Introducing these freestyle guys to how other athletes train. And again, it all comes back down to mindset. So if someone's got the mindset, open-mindedness, wants to take some of this stuff on board, then I guarantee you they'll improve. If they don't, then it's going to be a bit hit and miss. So,
have we made any progress on a potential training facility?
Not yet, no. I mean, it's on the Chula Vista Olympic training site. It's on their radar. Obviously, funds will have to be sourced to do that, but it's on their radar. My boss, Jim Miller, is he's mentioned about putting a ramp inside the velodrome, which is just around the corner from where we are. I think that could be a good idea, just based where we're at. There is actually a half pipe over there next to the velodrome, but obviously that's not good enough. But not in terms of actual facilities and structure yet.
In your expert opinion here, so we have 2020 coming up pretty quick, 2024 after that. Do you think there will be some sort of physical training facility before the 2024 Olympics?
I couldn't say. I'd like to hope so. But even with racing, that being said, we have an amazing training center in Chula Vista. I've only got a handful of athletes that live there. So but Connor Fields, our Olympic champion, he lives in Vegas, and he'll just come out for camp. So I don't think that determines whether you're going to be good or not. I mean, listening to all these riders, they're here because they actually probably grew up near an existing training center, a skate park or ramp park course or whatever. So so they have the facilities at home. So I don't even know that we need to I don't think we need to upheave everyone and transplant them to Colorado or Chula Vista. Let's just support them where they're at. Why make things complicated? So that would be at least through 2020, and then again we address it at that point and see if there's funds available to build a training center somewhere. As long as it's in Chula Vista, I don't want to move.